it being 5:02, we'll call them, you ready, Carrie?
Yes.
We'll call the meeting to order. You have the minutes of the last meeting from April 6th in front of you.
I read them.
Do you have any comments?
No, I don't.
Mark?
I do not.
Motion for minutes of the April 6th meeting. Motion made motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
For you.
Thank you.
Okay, warrants are being signed. There's no abatements or refunds tonight.
Nope.
All right, then we'll welcome James Hoyt from Tater and Howard to update us on treatment plants.
Oh, boy.
You seeing how thick it is?
Yeah. Well, mainly we must be getting down to almost seeing the end of the money flowing out.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with mailing because it's, you know, a shorter update. For the first page, I did print it bigger because we were having trouble reading it last time. But, the real update here from a cost standpoint is all in that bottom table. Last time I was here, we had already pretty much updated the top half of this sheet, so we already went over that. So the two changes on here are, well, I guess under change orders, change order number 7, bag filter programming. That was part of change order 4, but the timing of it was we approved that one, essentially missing that one little programming piece. Long story short, the work had been done, everybody but the instrumentation had gotten their prices and their work done, and we wanted to get it on a pay application into ARPA and paid. So
Is that the water sensor out in the building?
no, so essentially when we did all that bag filter work,
Yep.
we moved those motor operated valves
Yeah.
over, and everybody but Ben did their piece months ago. So rather than holding up the change order for $3,200 or $3,400, we processed the first change order without the instrumentation piece in it. So now it's its own standalone. So that cost was originally in that 67,214. It's just now its own line item. So instead of it being, 70 and change, it got split up to 67,000 and now the 3467. So that change order will be going to you, Wayne, for your review. But I wanted to put it on here because, we are gonna recommend it since it's a cost that we had already reviewed and approved. Just from a paperwork standpoint, Ben held everybody up. We couldn't really have him holding hostage subs who had done the work months in advance. So just an update on that one. So the next piece is just the ARPA update. We're in I don't want to say we're in hot water, but we're in a bit of a tip with Mass DEP, because they feel like we didn't do, they're essentially accusing us of being shady with the ARPA funds, because they don't understand that we went for the SRF funding years before the ARPA funds were earmarked for this project. So Michelle Higgins at DEP is now requesting a bunch of information and accounting. So pay up 13, even though it was approved by DEP, is being held by the trust. So you haven't seen reimbursement for that yet. So we've kind of been going back and forth with them to give them this information to kind of make them happy. There was no wrongdoing, obviously.
No, and there
You guys are
wasn't any
perfectly
double
entitled.
payments.
Yeah, there was no double dipping. You are certainly within your right to take less than the full SRF funding. I
They
think
should be
it's just
happy about that.
Yeah, but we're
You would
using,
think
we're
they would
using
be
less
happy.
money.
But that particular, I don't know, I should be careful what I say, but some of them are never happy, let's just put it that way.
We didn't even know, like, the select woman pretty much pushed for that, and
Yeah.
we didn't even know we were getting that until it came to us.
Yeah, so that's just the one change is you'll see, you know, we've flipped pay app 13 to be paid from ARPA instead of SRF. And we have updated all these numbers accordingly, just so that you guys have a fresh look at, you know, kind of where the funds are. We're carrying that HOP tester in here just as, so we don't lose track of it when,
Yep.
and just kind of, it's just a fresh accounting showing that we have adequate, you know, ARPA funds, and that should reduce the amount of SRF funds that we ultimately need. So, you know, all in all, it's a convoluted way of saying the funding is still fine. We're just flip-flopping some things we originally thought we were gonna pay for SRF, we're now paying out of ARPA, just to not hold up reimbursement essentially, while DEP has their little tantrum.
So when it's all said and done, we're leaving about 33 grand of ARPA on the table.
So that's what's unaccounted for, so when we do say pay app 15, we'll make sure
Try
we
to
pay
zero it
about 30, but we're kind of leaving it to the last, just in case an unexpected thing comes up. At this point, you know, we'd like to think we're out of the woods, knock on wood, but, yeah, so left, there's about 33 that's not, you know, that we haven't applied to a pay app, but we do still have a balance. You know, for example, worst case, we could use it to pay some of the retainage that's been held. So there's no risk of losing the ARPA, so to speak.
Okay.
And then just in terms of, you know, where we are, we did the sampling, we're redoing the secondary sampling because the manganese came in 3 parts per billion over our target MCL for it. We've done plenty of testing to know that the capability is there, the system works. Once Wayne dials in operation of, you know, the green sand, we're not at risk. It's nothing we're concerned, but we don't want to give DEP, I guess, an easy thing to point at during the inspection. So our recommendation is to rerun the secondary. So we're going to coordinate with Wayne operationally how that wants to happen. I think the contractor's available Thursday, but no pressure on you if you feel like you need more time than that's prepared.
Do we need to do the whole secondary, or can I just do manganese? Because my state I sent out an email. It's due for state sampling, and one of them is manganese nitrite and nitrates.
So we were gonna do the secondary, so we could just send the whole report to
All right.
DEP as opposed to
Yep.
supplementing it. But technically, we could just do the manganese.
All right.
So I guess just to kind of close the loop on that, once we do the retesting, we show that that one thing comes down within where, you know, we know we'll be operating, once the plant's up and running. It's really hard to have a plant sitting there idle, bring it up, get it in its sweet spot of operation, take a sample, shut it down. So, you know, again, I just want to make sure it's clear, like, there's no alarm bells going off. We've tested the system since the media's been placed, we know it's capable, and we're gonna get there. And, you know, we're barely over, even with all those challenges, so. Once the testing is redone, we can show DEP everything we need, and they're gonna do a walkthrough. We want to do it sooner than later, because I think the first week of May, they're unavailable. So if we can't get them out there the last week of, you know, if we can get them out there next week, then it's gonna be not the following week, but the week after. And if we're being honest, we're probably heading that way with the, you know, depending on the timing of the sweep testing. And then, you know, we'll continue to coordinate with Wayne for some of the other stuff. We have O&M manuals that we had edits on that we kicked back to the contractor that will need to be tied up. You know, we'll owe you guys as-built, so there's still some closeout stuff that we owe, but in terms of getting the plant up and running, you know, it's getting that resampled, getting DEP up there.
Now, were you changing the schematics on the PFAS valving and such, the way we had discussed it at the plant?
Yeah, so that's something we'll do, it's not something we're gonna make AdEdge do.
Okay.
So yeah, when we compile everything into the O&M manual, you know, we told Wayne we would format those in a way that's useful for him, because the way that we did it that's useful for us is not the way that's useful for Wayne and his staff. So we'll give him an opportunity.
So you'll be doing that, not Adage?
Exactly, yeah.
And you didn't mention in the stuff, the PFAS is tested at 0.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, so that manganese being 3 parts per billion over was the only thing that pinged. Everything else was well underneath, and as you mentioned, PFAS was non-detect. So not even under the limit, it was not present in a detectable amount. So that's positive, obviously. Any questions on Manley before I turn to Sear Norman? Okay. So Sear Norman, again, for the most part, I had already updated the budget form before the previous board meeting. What we've kind of updated is down here in the change orders, and we're going to kind of go through those in a moment. But the ones in bold are the ones that we're going to discuss. And if the board is ready, make a decision on those 3. And then we added PCO 9, fire service. That one's italics because it's in our review. We're not ready to make a recommendation on it at this time. The next page is the 3-week look ahead, just to kind of keep you guys posted on what's happening here at the site. This next 3 weeks is predominantly continuing the concrete work. What we have poured out there so far is the below grade tank. We have the slab and the walls. And then at the end of last week, we poured the footings for column line A1, which will eventually support the slab on grade portion of the building. And they're currently continuing around the building, and they'll start doing other column lines, doing the soil bed preparation, the rebar and form work for the other footings, and we anticipate the next pour probably being early next week. So we'll be back out probably the end of this week to check progress on the rebar specifically. And they also started this week doing some of the water main work. They're starting over at the Norman Wells end of the project, and they'll continue down Norman Ave towards Matfield. Essentially laying the new line that will become our raw water feed from Norman Ave back over to the new treatment plant. So the Norman Ave part should be pretty easy. And we'll give you a heads up when we get to the part where they start going to Matfield, because that's when it might get a little bit more coordination with traffic management, things like that. So again, just the highlights. So we have Derek, who spent our full-time RPR on site anytime they're working. We have another individual, Joyle, who's up here working with Derek, so that we have eyes on everything. That way, we need eyes essentially 24/7 when they're doing the buried work, so that we get ties and make sure all the below ground work is watched in real time, so it doesn't get buried and missed. So because we need that constant, surveillance on that work, we brought in another individual because Derek can't be both places at once. And then the rebar and the concrete inspection is a combination of Tate and Howard, as well as a third-party testing company, which is essentially all they do is rebar inspections. So they kind of supplement, especially in the more complicated portions of the steel. One thing we will say is that they've been certainly picking up the pace. There's a lot of steel going in, there's a lot of concrete going in. The metal building was delivered, so I think we are confident that they are trying to, make up for lost time, so to speak, and push the schedule aggressively. So we had our progress meeting with them this morning, and they committed that early May, they'd get us an updated schedule with their best aggressive look at what their new completion date would be. So, either the next board meeting or the one after that, depending when we receive it and when you meet, we'll present the full project schedule with you, including when they plan to, wrap up.
On the schedule, they're looking to do that leakage test in the tank that's already poured for the end of the week. Did they go through?
They're
About the
looking-
water?
Yeah, they're looking for tomorrow, so I'll have the guys down there,
Start filling it?
yeah, livening up the hydrant, cause it's an isolated hydrant, so we'll have to bring it back to the system. That shouldn't be a problem.
And you're okay with the amount of water they're gonna take?
Yeah, they're not gonna, like, if they were gonna use anything, I could just turn on station one and give them that, but they're not gonna use that much. I mean, they're gonna fill up the tank, I'm sure it has a volume, but
It's like 80,000 gallons, I think they were
Yeah.
saying, when we were over there today.
I'll just put it in my, sheet for DEP as part of my unaccounted for.
You gonna put a meter on it when it goes in, or?
I might, well, I'll have to see what I got out back.
We're gonna have pretty accurate level measurements too, because it's part of our testing, so we can give you,
Yeah.
we're gonna have the set elevations, we can give you like on the money exactly how much went in there. So we'll send that to you so that you have it for when you do
Yeah.
your next unaccounted for water calculation, you'll know exactly how much water we used.
Yeah.
So the next three packets, are the proposed change orders that they've submitted. We spoke about all of these last time, but they were still in review. This time I brought them, the cover page is our current recommendation, so I just wanna let you know, this has not been issued, so even if on here it says approved or reject, that's, at this time, it is our recommendation to the board only. We have not given the contractor any, rejection or approval of these PCOs. So the first one, as we discussed last time, is they submitted a PCO in response to an RFI answer on some architectural details. We concur with the architect that the RFI did not add scope, it only clarified products. So based on the PCO that Waterlines submitted, we're recommending that PCO be rejected. So that's this first one, PCO number 5, for $16,365. So our recommendation would be to not entertain it at this time, just reject it.
The panels were specified.
So they
In
were
the-
shown on the plans in multiple locations, but the exact product was not specified in the spec book. So they had asked us what product should you use in these locations on the plan. We gave them a sample spec of the product they should be using.
Not that they must use it, they should be using.
Right,
So they could have come back with something similar and equal to that.
exactly.
Well, and they
So-
had to put something in anyway.
Right.
So all the labor, everything in there is basically, would have been included regardless, even if they were asking for an extra for the actual product, which is, but they're not, they're
Right,
asking.
exactly. And I don't want to, guess what they did and didn't do. The point is, we own that product
Yeah.
on the drawings. So we wouldn't entertain, our recommendations not to move forward with that PCO.
Okay, any more questions for James on that one?
Nope.
Let's do them one at a time as we go,
Number 6.
instead of doing all three. No, not that one yet.
I'm all set with number 5.
Oh,
Well, we will, if we need to do something, reject or accept or whatever.
Oh, okay, I made the motion.
They only recommend them, the commission's gotta do.
Okay,
Do you have any other questions for him, Mark?
I make a motion that we reject PCO number 5 for those panels.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
So PCO 7, again, is the one we discussed last meeting, but I didn't have we hadn't done our due diligence on all of the backup. So I did print all of it, we can go through it in as much detail as you want. I think the easiest way to kind of see what we're doing is to kind of look at the third and fourth pages where we have the sketches. So, effectively, what we had to do is change the valve on the suction side because our space is very limited in the pipe gallery, and we wanted to maintain access around the pumps. However, in kind of fitting, locking everything, even though it looked on paper like it was all gonna fit, there was a conflict with the operator wheel, and it would have been next to impossible for, you know, the operators to actually operate that. And that was, you know, flagged during the soft drawn phase, submitted an RFI, and our response to the RFI was agreeing that we should rework the suction side piping. So when we redid the piping on the suction side, it added some additional fittings and pipe, both to make it all fit, but also to improve hydraulics on the suction side. And so their breakdown is the second page, and based on the fact that they are giving us credit for the fittings and valves that we're no longer using, and then based on the new work, their pricing on that, we are recommending approval of this PCO number 7. And that would be for the amount in green on the second page, the $11,911.
You gave backup for the credit for the 2 butterfly valves that are coming out. Did you get backup on the 8-inch valve and pipe?
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, it's not in the back.
I think it's the very back of this package. I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got into the other section and I wasn't, my mistake.
Yeah, I mean, the valves were almost a wash, you know, but it's the extra pipe that extends into the tank and the pipe supports. You know, and the flange pipe is, as you know, it's made to order, it's not off the shelf.
Okay.
So just, this goes from 8 to 12, or 12 to 8, is that what we're talking about here?
12 inch to 8 to feed the pump.
12 to 8.
Pump's only got 8-inch suction, so you have to reduce down to it.
So it's just that the 12-inch butterfly valves are 4,500, but the 8-inch is 10,200.
So we went to gate valves, since we're,
All right.
yeah, they'll provide better hydraulics.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And the operator.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because the wheel wouldn't.
I prefer a gate valve over a butterfly valve any day.
Only if it's installed by a plumber.
Licensed.
I don't see no stamp.
Well, it is what it is.
I have a question, but you'll
Go.
probably get mad at
No,
me, so.
go ahead and ask. That's what we're here for.
Should I say it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're gonna anyway.
Well,
I don't want you to explain.
well, I misunderstood. He said he made a pretty drawing, but the pipes don't fit in it, so we gotta change order it because the pipes don't fit in the pretty drawing.
The original valve, they had that 12-inch gate butterfly valve in between the pump and
Yeah?
the wall, and correct, the operator for that wouldn't fit in the space that they had. So. this
With the
is-
pretty drawing?
Yes.
Okay, so you know where I'm
That
going,
is-
right?
That is correct.
Okay, That's all.
But that,
Or it would
That's-
fit, we just couldn't operate it.
I don't think the wheel would actually would have fit when I looked at it. I think the wheel would have actually been hitting into the wall. It wasn't laid out the way it should have been, basically, is what you're getting at.
So if it, I'm just saying,
I
Go
know.
ahead,
if
spit
it
it out.
wasn't laid out properly, why are we paying for this?
Well,
Am
because
I wrong?
Nope.
No,
I just
you,
spit
it out
no,
there.
you are, and let me tell you why.
Okay,
Because.
I want change to.
Well, I'm going to, because I've been in James' seat before, and I know what it feels like. Waterline's contract is with us, it's not with Tater and Howard. Any change order we pay, or we get the credit for. Whether or not Tater and Howard should be sharing in the cost of it is an issue between us and Tater and Howard, if that was something you wanted to pursue down the line. But as far as for the project itself, to make the project, we have to pay that project to Waterline. Tater and Howard and Waterline aren't under agreement with each other. So that's why we are the ones having to pay it, because the change has to be made in order for the project to work. So
I get that,
that's,
but
and we're voting on accepting the change order, which is between us and Waterline. I know, I get what you're saying, but it's a separate issue from the change order itself. But you are correct as to what happened.
okay.
Not arguing that with you.
And neither am I.
And any other questions for James on this change order?
No, as long as you don't have any more like this, that's fine. I'll give him this one. No more. This is you designed this, you drew this, you knew it should have fit. In this day and age of CAD drawings and all this other stuff, everything computer, you should have known that this was gonna fit, if it was gonna work.
You think so, huh?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
It doesn't work that way.
You got 14 feet, 2 inches to make it work. You're not talking 6 feet here. So, I mean, there's nothing we can do about this one. At least, this is my opinion. There's nothing I can do about this one.
Where do you get 14 feet 2 inches?
No,
You
it's
got
on the
2
bottom
feet,
here.
7.5 inches.
What's the measure right here? 14 feet 2.
That's the building, that's not the wall.
Well, it shows all the piping though that's in the clouded area.
Yeah, except,
Right here, 14 feet 2.
yeah,
from
except
here to here.
the whole problem was right here.
I get it, but he clouded in the whole area, which indicates the
Well,
change.
because some of
But
that
this is,
piping.
but
had
it's all
to be-
reduced. It's all reduced from 12 to 8.
Yeah, but with that,
I get it, but it's still 14 feet 2. So you're fitting 8 foot, you're fitting 8-inch pipe into 12
See what I
into
started?
area that was designed for 12 feet,
Right.
12-inch pipe.
I
That's all I'm
just asked
saying.
a question.
No, Mark, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's not like we're making it from 8 to 12, we're making it from 12 to 8. And we've got a big space here. I understand what Art's saying, we only got a short area for the valves to make them
If you
operate.
look at all the other dimensions, that's not that big a space, so it's going in there. Because you need the space to go in between things, you need clearances for people.
I get it,
walking through.
I understand.
How much is it?
But it is what it should, you know,
How much
I'm
is
not
it?
disputing the
It's
issue.
the
11,911.63.
I have another question. I get, okay, these things happen, but as a taxpayer, we paid for a set of drawings,
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be, I guess, right? So why would we have to pay half? I don't get that. Am I wrong?
we have to pay to the contractor the amount. Anything-
Yes, the contractor can, he has to make it work, but, and the job gotta continue. So why do we have to pay half? That's all I'm saying.
We have to change the contract. It's a change order for the contract. They have, if there's value, whether the value or the cost goes up, change the contract amount. We are the ones that do that because the contract's between us and Waterline. Again, what gets paid if you say that's not acceptable and you need cost sharing or whatever, is totally separate from what happens. We can't do a change order that says we'll pay $6,450 and Tater and Howard's gonna pay the balance, because they're not under contract with Waterline.
And I'd just like to point out that, we provided a product that we stand behind. It's a $16 million project. We would anticipate anywhere from 2 to 5% change orders for things that occur in the field that might be different than what we anticipated on the plans. And we anticipate we're gonna be well within that. So we certainly understand that you're gonna wanna hold us accountable for things that seem like they could have been avoided. But the matter of fact is you're not gonna avoid all change orders on a project of this size. So,
That's why we're scrutinizing them.
Listen, that's fine, but don't throw that 5% at us, okay? We're just having a conversation here. We're gonna let this fly.
I'm just trying to put in context
you
our
know.
position of, there's going to be change orders, and we're gonna come here and have these discussions every time, but this isn't the result of negligence, this wasn't, so we're gonna, I'm gonna stand up for our company and say that we're doing a good job. We've had the water department's best interest in mind for years now.
We're not saying you
We'll
didn't,
continue to
James.
do so. And-
We're not even out of the ground yet, and we're already up to PCO number 7. And we've had change orders here for gate valve, different gate valves because it was proprietary spec, the installation that we rejected. I think what I'm saying, and maybe I'm just extending on what Mark's saying, is that the piping was designed by you guys. We're paying the change order right now, we get it. The 2 to 5%, I don't wanna hear that, because I don't wanna go 5% of $14,700,000 worth of change orders. I'm not up for that. I'm still gonna scrutinize every change order, and we want answers. I mean, I'm a plumber. I look at it this way, we've got 12-inch pipe, we're reducing it to 5, we're making it 14 feet in. I get it. You're going with gate valves over butterfly valves, I prefer gate valves. I'm good with that. I understand the piping arrangement, we need to work to maintain the procedure to make everything work properly. I get it. So, I just don't wanna see it again. And if it does, we'll just have to deal with it again, that's all. Because it's the ratepayers' money. I mean, we're bonding this for a period of time, and we're not saying you're not doing a good job, not at all. Just that we're here to protect the ratepayers on additional costs, that's all.
Okay.
But with that,
Wayne, would you like to kick the dead horse?
no, I'm not kicking them, that's not at all. With that, I'll make a motion that we accept the change order number 7 for the, well, what do we call it, the changing of the pipe,
Pipe
Size.
deal. What do you call it? Pipe
I lift
deal.
pump valves and piping.
Pump suction modifications is what it's
I
called.
lift pump, valve, and piping.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Last chance. Next.
So PCO number 8, we also discussed at the last one. This is work out at the Norman Ave well site. We have a meter pit out there for the new, flow meter that's going out there. Towards the very end of design, we were on site, and it was, brought to our attention that the way the meter pit was shown on the plans was not, what was out in the field. So we essentially sketched out what we thought it was gonna look like, and we always knew that there might be some slight adjustments in the field. So this one is for $591.95 for some additional fittings to kind of make what is out there kind of fit with, what we need to do out there. And again, the backup is all attached. And so our recommendation is to approve this one as well.
Questions?
It's only $600. This is easy to look at. Six-inch flange by plain end spool, one, $1,200.
Oh, because of what they were crediting off, I was just gonna say this.
Yeah,
so-
no,
So I was looking at the web stuff, and it was a lot more,
well,
it's the credit.
so the 8-inch by plain end that we're getting an $1,100 credit, but we're gonna get a 6-inch by the same distance, I would assume, for $1,200. So, I know I would think that 6 would be less than 8, but apparently with this, it isn't. Or am I missing something?
No, they're hitting more for the 6.
Yeah,
The 6-inch mega flange is less than the 8.
yeah, but it's more we pay for.
Hmm?
But we're paying more. I just pick one, and not to cherry pick here, but I look at pipe. So 6-inch flange by plain end spool, 1293. 8-inch flange by plain end spool, 1 at 1141. So it doesn't say how long, it just says plain end. So it doesn't say if it's the same distance or not, so I'm just assuming that they are. I'm just saying that, I know it's only $150, but why is 8-inch less money than a 6?
I think
That's-
there's different lengths of pipe.
I wish it said that,
Yeah, I don't have the measurement.
because that's something that should have been on the proposed change order.
Because it does say in Webb's piece, and it's because it's twice the length for the 6-inch.
Okay,
So the answer is in the fabrics. The 6-foot-long ductile iron 8-inch is the 1141, and it's a 12-foot 6-inch.
I assumed it was something like,
1293.
because when you look at the 8-inch mega flange,
Yeah.
that's 275, and then the 6-inch,
Yeah.
it's 174, so that makes sense there. All
That was
right,
a catch, it was just,
Yep.
just the length.
okay.
Any other questions?
I have none.
I make a motion for, hey, by the way, what happened to number 7? Did we miss one here?
No, you just did it.
No, I'm
That's-
sorry,
That's what
6.
we're having the fight over.
6,
6
where's,
is the one,
We don't have their.
all right, okay, because
we kicked that one back.
All right.
Yeah, it wasn't ready for review.
okay, so again, I'll make the motion for change order, PCO number 8 for that, from 6 to 8 piping arrangement in the mag meter vault.
Thank you. Second? All
Second.
in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
That's all I have for tonight. If you guys have any other items to discuss, happy to.
Did we decide what kind of valves they're supposed to be installing?
Muller.
The buried ones,
Yeah,
they're the ones we spec.
because I heard that's not what's at Norman Ave. They haven't installed any yet.
Okay.
What are the valves? Are they Mullers, or?
They're supposed to be
Yeah.
All
the
right,
mullers that were spec.
Mueller.
They were on site,
Mueller,
because we were already billed for those a
Mueller.
while ago. That's what they were supposed to have on site.
Somehow they got the wrong ones there, I think.
Okay, I'll call Derek in the morning.
We'll expect a phone call by 9.
What's that?
Thank you, James.
He'll be working.
You kidding? Who are you kidding?
Yeah.
You're gonna be driving down Norman
Well, they're in
Avenue
there,
tomorrow morning.
they're in really early, because I've been here early and they're in there.
Did anything come, when we were here earlier, they started doing the digging and they found some pipe where it wasn't supposed to be? Did we find anything else out about that?
I haven't heard any more about it. Sounds like
That was pretty
luckily we
close.
didn't break it.
That would have been a disaster. There would have been a lot of water instantaneously.
Did we mark it wrong, or is it not where it was supposed
It's
to be?
trans-
I
Transite,
think
so
it's-
you
yeah,
can't.
It's the same
No, but
issue we
like from
had
our
with the meter
records, we
pit.
don't have it good enough down there.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's what we found on the meter pit. Things aren't quite laid out the way they appear on the record drawings. No.
Yeah.
Rick did a good job at everything else except marking out our own stuff here.
But no damage done though,
No,
nothing happened.
luckily.
Okay. Anything else for James
No, that
from
was
you?
Yep.
I'm good.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
thanks.
James.
Good night.
You sure you're all set?
I'm done.
Bless you.
All right, next item, backflow prevention testing program.
So our current provider cut us. They can't hire any qualified employees to continue doing the amount of testing they used to do. So we do 57 businesses with 70 RPZs and 57 double checks. RPZs are twice a year. So I reached out to several companies and I only heard back from one. And he did give us a quote. He really wants our business, but the price is definitely going up. As long as I've been here, Sarian has never really raised their rates or charged us any more. So for 20 years, we've been doing business with Sarian, and probably even before that. But they just can't get employees anymore. She was almost crying, telling me that she had to cut me. So I have
Who is
Anchor
this?
backflow testing, and he's an annual contract. If you just sign a 1-year contract, it's $95 per device tested. If you go up to a 2-year contract, it's $90 per device, and if you go up to a 3-year contract, it drops down to $85 per device.
How many we have, you said?
So we have 57 businesses that we test, there are 70 RPZs in them, and 57 double checks also.
And his price is the same whether it's RPZ or
Yeah,
double?
yeah, because, it doesn't matter the test, no matter what, they have to take the little caps off and pressurize them and isolate and stuff.
Are those fire protection lines as well, or do they test
So they hire, a fire guy to come with them and do testing on the fire sprinkler systems. I think the rules just changed for a while. I guess we weren't allowed to do that, and now they've changed it, but he still doesn't do it. He has a fire system person that he works with.
But that's included and it's not
It's
an
in-
extra.
Right, it's not an extra. Either that or I'd have to force the business to start doing their own testing.
Nah,
What,
And who is this guy?
Anchor backflow testing.
what were we paying before?
I-
$75 per device.
I'm sorry, Carrie, how much was that?
75.
Oh, thank you.
You got any experience with these guys at all? Know of any of them? that-
No, well, they've been in business for a while. He was kind of like, when I called him, he's like, you know why I can't get in? Because every time I call you guys, you're like, all set with who you have. And we weren't like, we didn't have any issues. It just went along, so.
Until they dropped us.
Yep, till they dropped us. And trust me, the minute I got dropped, I was calling, because I know I can't be the only one being cut.
Yeah.
Do we bill for that? The
Yes,
customer?
we do.
Okay.
So you have to vote to raise the rate too, so that we cover our costs. I really was hoping to get like a retired plumber with a backflow, and then I'd send my guys. You need somebody that knows what they're doing out there, and then you can train you. I mean, I could send anybody for testing, but if you don't know piping systems and how they function, you can come up with some very disastrous results.
Yeah, and that's liability we don't need.
Right.
Because you can cause damage.
Yep.
You're not gonna get a retired plumber for $90 for, it's gonna take an hour a piece to do it.
Right. You figure about an hour, because you
Yeah.
gotta get to the
Plus you gotta
business,
get there,
carry your
yeah.
bucket in.
Yeah. I don't think it's a lot of money. I mean, knowing what's involved,
Right.
but then again, we have to pass the cost off to the end consumer, which is
Right.
the
But
way it is.
Truly-
But it is what it is. Yeah.
2015, and it's never been raised
he was the only
What year,
one that
Kevin?
responded.
2015.
Wow.
Well, it's funny, if it's been $75 for all that time, we were way overpaying back when they started using those
Probably,
guys,
yes.
by the sound of it. You think we'd be better off starting with 1 year, seeing how they do in case there are any issues, or trying to save the money? Your opinion?
I would probably just go lock him in for 2 years, and then hopefully he stays in business. Other than that, then you're searching. Like, I had some kid send me a thing, he must have heard that they were going out. Oh, I just got my backflow, are you looking for anybody to do your testing? I'm like, I'm not hiring Joe Schmo. Like, things can go very wrong fast.
Yeah.
This is why we have plumbing licenses.
It's part
Yeah,
of the
for
plumbing.
that I
How
understand.
about that Globe article
Yeah,
today?
it's part of the plumbing code to install them, but yet, why aren't you guys testing them? Why is it pushed back on the water department? Because it's plumbing code. We don't even know when a building is getting
If
them.
you call him, he'll test them.
Yeah,
Well, our code
Yeah,
requires
$500 test.
replacement, repairing,
You just
that you don't need a
answer the
permit
question.
for. So this
Right.
doesn't require a permit. But this would be a good gig for a retired plumber out there to,
Just a simple plumber like you.
just a
Yeah.
simple licensed and insured plumber.
Yeah, insured definitely.
Yeah, that's
a
the
big issue.
key.
No, I'm serious, I'm not being sarcastic there, it's just, because it's pretty simple with the gauges and all, it's just a
Right.
matter of see if it's in failure, if it passes, it's
Yep.
pretty simple, if the checks don't, if it fails,
Right, it's not a hard test.
no.
All right, so it was 95 for a year, 85 for 2, 75 for 3.
So it's 95 for just a 1-year contract. A 2-year is 90, and a
Oh, it's
3-year is
90.
85.
So
Where did
there's
they-
only
oh,
one
that's
guy?
why.
So he employs people, it's not just one guy.
No, you said no one called you back except for this guy?
Yeah,
A lot of towns do it themselves.
yeah.
Or does it themselves.
We're small, I don't have the people to, and some people, this would become a lifetime career the whole entire year, so
Well, yeah, you'd probably end up running 2 people,
right.
and they're at, what is it, 100 and?
So you got 100,
Around 150 of them,
Right, so
in an
you,
hour apiece, that's
Yep.
300 labor hours.
yep. It would just tie up my guys for like a month solid,
yeah,
and that's if they're hustling.
I think we're better off subbing something like that out, just because of the liability involved.
Yep.
and-
Right. They did try it here once, and I guess, I think you became involved, it was at Life Care, and the thing failed.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't have a drain, it's supposed to be to a drain, and it wasn't.
Would they flood the room?
Oh yeah, and they didn't have a bypass.
Yeah, mechanical rooms require a floor drain in the mechanical room for reasons like this.
All right, a 2-year and split the difference on the money? So do you wanna go for a 3-year and give them the cheapest? It's $5 a test, it's not like it's a
Just
huge
go-
amount of
right.
money.
Just
$10,
go-
it's twice a year, so.
Go 2 years.
Yeah,
Go 2 years, make that motion?
I say make the motion, 2 years for the testing,
And I will
Yeah.
second
$80. or
85, not, excuse me, 90.
2 years is 90,
90.
with anchor
Yeah.
backflow, and you second.
Yep,
All in favor?
aye,
Any opposed?
none. Who are they out of?
And now we need a motion to
So
increase
it's
our
Rhode
back.
Island, but he lives, it's in he's in Mass.
Okay,
And now we need a motion to increase the rate for the
Backflow
backflow preventer testing from $75, is that what it's on now?
testing. Yeah,
$75 to $90. I need a motion.
Mark,
Mark, John, anybody? We
That's
charge,
even money, right? 95. and-
well, it's $5 profit,
Work on us.
yeah.
Is that enough?
well, they're paying a significant amount of money for water, so I think if we break even on it, it shows that we're,
yeah, because we were they were charging us 75 before.
Okay,
What was our fee before, 75 or 80?
75.
75, so we're charging what we're charged, so
Yeah.
if we go up to 90, we're charging what we were charged.
Well, 90 is a even, if you go with a 2-year, that's an even thing.
Yeah,
Right.
95 was a
So-
year, 90 was 2 years, we're going with 2 years for 90,
Yep,
and we'll raise from 75 to 90. One of you
I guess
the
I'll make the motion, I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion for the 2 years at $90.
No, we did that one already. We
but,
need the motion
the
for
rate to
increase
90
the
bucks,
rate for
the 90
backflow
bucks.
Prevention testing.
second.
You got all that, Kerry?
Yes.
All in favor?
This was harder than giving those
Tater.
change orders.
Shouldn't have been. Aye.
All right.
All right, that gets that done. On to old business, superintendent's job description. I took yours, Mark.
I think
and-
there's one more, isn't there?
The rate increase, is that the rate increase for the
that's the
backflow?
rating.
That's the
Oh,
rate
okay.
increase. Yeah, we're holding off on the other one until we see the numbers better. I added to yours and cut out some stuff I had in my original one. You wanted to talk about the rate increase? Rate increase, Jesus Christ, the job description for the superintendent. Yeah, I know. It's been a long day.
That's something I'd say, for him. You want one of these?
no, that's okay, I don't.
I'll take one.
I gave
please.
like, I
Just
say,
for the-
I thought I had 5.
I print mine double-sided.
Save the trees.
Well, la-di-da. Yeah, what's our annual budget, Wayne? Off the top, what did we just put in, number?
3.
Well, I put in 50,000 to cover them for a crossover period.
No, just our total annual budget.
Oh,
For
it's,
the water department.
2.4 something million.
All right. So call it 2.5 million. For it. I mean, just trying to lay out enough so that we cover ourselves here. Try to figure out what. Problem is, our superintendent job covers more than just a normal superintendent. Wayne likes to call it a working superintendent, because you have to cover, I mean, and part of the issues, we just had one of the guys out on grand jury duty,
Yeah. and
and that's taken up, we have basically 4 people out there, and that takes one away for, I think this last pay period is almost a couple of days worth of time, 2.5
I think
days.
Friday was his last day.
But,
I think so, the
Yeah,
second.
I
but,
think
but
we
all this
finally
time
finished.
we've had it, you're basically down a guy for that
Right.
amount of time. But basically, everything to do with compliance, everything to do with scheduling, budgeting. A lot of it can be delegated. We have Kerry delegated to work in the CCR and that stuff, but it's still under the superintendent's responsibility to make sure it gets done, scheduling everything to make sure it gets done. It's kind of all stuff he does anyway, but then you also, because we're so small, it really needs a lot more hands-on regarding running the treatment plants and such. Because we have, out of our guys out there right now, what, 2 can run the plants, realistically?
Yeah, I mean, from a cold start, they'll all have a kind of tough time, but,
But,
you
but
know,
when it's up and running,
it'll be fine. And like mainly, once we finally get through all of this, I'll write up a startup procedure for right now, because we come from a cold start, and I'll also have a cold start one too, but you're not gonna be able to afford to have much downtime. You're,
not true.
like, if one of these 2 plants goes down, you have to know what you're looking at right away and get people in right away, because you can't be down.
You need the water.
Yeah, and we don't really have, so that's why the superintendent at this point has to be someone who can come in and do that
Right.
until they get more up to speed. So it's gotta have that treatment aspect, that having the license is a requirement, but really being able to do it, having been doing that for real, as opposed to just getting the license and holding on to it, is gonna be important.
Out on the licensure thing, isn't it like, I think the water board, like, you can get the position without the license, then you work your way toward the license after you have the position, because then how the water
You
board
can get
works?
the licenses without, and then you just have them in OIT, in operator in training.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, for someone, when Wayne walks out and the superintendent comes in.
We need a license.
They're gonna have to be someone that knows what they're doing.
Well, right now you have enough people covering, like I've removed myself now from all of the positions, because I've tried to do that forever, but this year there was enough licenses around.
But when push comes to shove, it requires you
Right.
to be out there to do this stuff. And
So-
we'll
so
be,
you're
and we'll be
saying-
just starting up the new, by then, Sierra Norman's just gonna be starting up too. That's gonna be through a whole,
Yeah,
that's gonna be new to everybody.
that has a lot of,
Yeah, a lot of working
Yeah.
parts.
You were saying, sorry, Mark, you were saying?
So you're saying you should be a working foreman?
Let's say we need a working superintendent at this point. We can't have just we can't just have the superintendent be a manager. It's gotta be able to run the plant.
But isn't a
understand
manager
it well enough.
position to tell his crew what to do?
The crew has to be able to do it.
So the crew is not worthy enough?
The crew, we have operators who can keep the plants running, whether or not they can, and they're gonna have to learn this one from scratch. That might be a time when we'll see that, but right now, the superintendent's job is more than just the management of the office. It's required to be out when things go wrong at the plants. When we had the break at the well, we had that leak. Some of that's institutional knowledge, because Wayne's been here so long, but also it's making sure that everything's being considered as it's going on. You turn a valve the wrong way and something goes out the system, it's a problem. So,
So is the superintendent, is he running a machine?
he shouldn't be running the machines.
Is he driving a truck?
He shouldn't have to drive a truck unless
Is he-
somebody's out.
If there's a hole in the pipes break or something, isn't that superintendent there telling his guys what to do? Or do you want him in the hole
He
tightening the nuts down?
should be there telling them what to do.
Okay. I agree with you 100%, that's what that
Yeah.
guy's for.
Yeah, when you have stuff going on in the hole, definitely, when you're doing something in the plant, things need to be trimmed, adjusted back, whatever. He may need to be able to do more than just tell the
So-
guys
All right,
which
so,
way to do it.
so let's talk about this. So how's the safety down there? Like, these guys know about trenches? Is there courses here? Or you just blow a trench and you just start digging? Is there trench boxes? Is there stuff like that?
So, if you've
Because I drive around there, I don't see a trench box. And,
it's sitting on
and
a
the
lawn.
water's 5 feet.
It's sitting on a lawn in Ash Street right now. So if you drive down to, I think it's
We
130
had
Ash,
the recent
Yeah.
break.
you'll see the thing sitting there. However, if you've ever watched a water main break on TV, tell me how many trench boxes you've seen in use. Because the trench is dug to the box. You don't put a box in any hole because the trench will collapse and knock the box over and cut somebody's head off. You dig the trench to the box. So on water main breaks, it's a lot different kind of animal. You have to do it safely, you have to bench your way in. You gotta know your soil types and what the water has done to them. There's a lot to it.
Right.
Yes,
That's
we have a-
safety.
Yes, so we watch what we're doing when we're in there. Yes, I have all new guys. That's been my constant argument with the town all along, was the fact that they don't pay enough to retain anybody. As soon as somebody gets a license, and I can't blame them, they go to another town that pays better and has better health benefits. They're cheaper, and they instant savings. I can't blame, that's been my fight with the town the entire, like 11 years I've been doing this, because they won't pay enough. They don't wanna hear it. They call them laborers. They're not laborers. We're injecting micro doses of chemicals into the water. And if you put too many of those micro doses in, you can harm an entire town overnight. People turn on their water in the morning and they get burnt. So there are reasons and safety checks. That's why we're licensed. There's a lot to it that you don't see. There's a lot to it. And you don't want new people all the time, because then somebody's gonna do something wrong. They're not gonna know what they're doing. That's why I'm a working superintendent, because I don't want anybody harmed. I can't wait to get away.
Well, you mentioned also that, you know, you have one guy that was out on jury duty, so that you're down a
Yes,
man
you're
for
down
that period of
people for
time.
that. There's nothing I can do about
So if
that.
that's the
Well, no, but
case.
the thing is, you're gonna be down people
And
sometimes
people have
anyway.
vacation, and
Yeah.
they have sick time. It's like, it just happens, so you're always gonna be down people.
The longer they're here, the more sick time they have, and the more
Yep.
vacation time they have, and
Right.
not everybody doesn't use it, and then has to carry it over either. Some
Yeah.
people use their time, but you have to, I mean, it's part of the contract, you have to
Right,
let them, and you have to account for it, but then you've got, you know, a small enough group of people, depending on who's out, it can hurt what you're able to do. So it's almost like even if they're not out there all the time, the superintendent needs to be able to, again, not be in the hole with the wrench, but
How do you-
be doing the stuff again, to me, it's particularly at the plants, because that's, to me, the biggest concern as far as day-to-day
The
stuff.
the superintendent can run the plant, right? That's what,
The superintendent needs to be able to run.
and he has, you're looking for all the licenses and all that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, gotta have the licenses, because then if somebody who's licensed, you have to have 2 licensed employees?
we're T2, D2, so you have
Yeah.
to have,
R2D2.
So by the time, if one does go somewhere else, and you wanna make sure you've got that covered until you hire the next replacement for that person too. But I think the superintendent and particularly with all the new stuff, Manly is basically new. Because the Green Sand Plus is different. We got the PFAS train in there that was never in there before. Being fed by the old wells that require attention be paid to them. This is all gonna be brand new. So whoever's gonna be coming in is really gotta be, I think, able to take that part on. I mean, either that or you'd basically have to have two people. I think you'd hire a superintendent to manage the stuff, and you'd hire another operator as almost like you have a chief operator slash assistant superintendent or something that would just focus on that part, and a superintendent that would focus on all the management and compliance stuff, which is a job on itself anyway, with all the way they keep changing the regulations. But now you're talking a big chunk, you're paying two people for full-time jobs that you're gonna be, it's gonna cost more, but I think you kinda need one or the other. You either need a assistant who's really, like, focuses on being the chief operator, and the superintendent just being the manager, or you need someone who can do both. We've always been a place that's had someone who does both because we're so small. It's tough to have two people who are up at the top and then only have, for 4 people who are working out in the system.
It isn't the water that cost, it's the people that cost.
Yeah. So you wanna think on this for another 2
Go
weeks
ahead.
and we'll start working on it a little more detail? I said, I took what you had brought the last time, and I had stuff I put together before. You definitely want feedback from you, Wayne, since it's, yeah, we can with that. And we'll just try to go from there afterwards. Last item on the agenda, Stiles Company meters. Have they gotten back to us yet, again?
They have talked to me, but I haven't gotten any fact out of it, so they wanna come out and help me with the life care issue, so that's when I'll get some information out of them. I mean, if we're receiving meters as credits, I need to know that.
When,
And they
are they
said,
doing the life care thing?
it's sometime this week, was just asking, access to it. And I says, as long as I can give him a call ahead of time, there's no problem getting access to it.
Let me know when it is, cause if I'm in town at the time, I'll swing by and
All right,
harass them about it too.
yeah.
Can't hurt.
Can I, talk about maybe the agenda for next week? Maybe we can put it on the next meeting.
Yeah.
Talk about maybe merging this place into DPW or
Well,
getting some.
that's something that I thought actually I ran into David Gagny last week. I thought he said he was gonna send something over to us about that. And I didn't see anything in the email. I figured if he sent anything over,
That meeting's the 11th of,
yeah.
so how many meetings we got before then?
For May 11th,
Yeah,
May
so
4th,
we should probably,
add it to the agenda.
yeah.
No, you could add, and like I said, hopefully they'll give us something, information on what they're
Yeah.
actually planning on. Because what I mentioned, when he asked me about it, I mentioned that, well, we're not gonna do anything without knowing exactly what the details are.
Oh, sure, 100%.
And so we need to see that, because that, depending on how it was organized, that might be a way to have somebody deal with some of the compliance type stuff and allow
I don't know,
The
if
shift,
you need,
but-
you need this extra help, I don't know.
it depends on
I
how
don't
they
know
do
if
it
you can
though.
relieve a little bit here and maybe, I don't know, maybe they can pick something up,
Well,
I don't know.
It's why we need the details, and my main issue with it is places I've worked in the past that I've seen that, the water department, when the town takes over an independent water department, it doesn't go well for the water system. It tends to get sort of it gets less attention paid to it, because now it's part of something else. And whether, you know, I did one up in Maine that I used to work with that got taken over and basically the maintenance stopped.
You think
So-
this would get kicked to the curb?
I don't think it would with
With
the,
all-
with the person who is there now. I don't think it would, but the problem is you don't know who will be there in 5 years. That's why the details of who's responsible for what, you know, is it just boom, a takeover? Is it splitting responsibility? There's all kinds of different ways stuff like that could happen. So for me, the concern is how do you make sure the water department part of it doesn't, so the water system doesn't get shortchanged.
We keep talking about how important this water is. You know, someone could get burned, and now all of a sudden it changes and we're gonna kick it to the curb. It don't make sense. It should be
It
should be
doesn't,
taken care of.
it doesn't make sense, but I know the one in Maine that I was talking about, that one, they basically, it became a cash cow. They just, you know, they had the rates coming in, and because it now wasn't separate, that all went into their general fund,
So
and it didn't the monies didn't necessarily go back out. I'm
So-
not saying they'd do that, but that's why we need to see what it would be. That's my
So
concern.
if there was money here, you saying they might take it? Or
If
if
pulled
they're
the
gonna
whole-
take it,
if-
it's no good.
If it put the whole thing in onto Public Works, and it all went into the one pool, it's no longer an enterprise, but
But
we're an
isn't
enterprise fund.
you're an enterprise, so your money's in the enterprise.
But are they proposing to eliminate the enterprise fund?
No,
By
I don't
bringing that
think you
in?
can.
No, I think they're talking about, there's different ways of doing it, that's why we need to see the details. Because I think one way is you basically dissolve the enterprise fund, and it becomes part of. it's
Yeah, and
just-
if you do
it's-
that, that money's,
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's what
I'm
happened.
not for that.
That's why I told them, we haven't made any decisions on anything, we haven't voted on anything, but we need to see the details before we're gonna.
Right now,
And
we're not a
I
cash
thought
cow.
he was gonna send something over.
Right now, we're not a cash cow because of the debt that we have, but
I didn't.
10 years from now, but that's why the rates have been low, because we haven't, well, they haven't been, prior to us being on board members, they haven't done a lot of construction work that they did it in-house, so the rates are relatively low, but anything's possible in the future.
But no, I'll talk to him again and ask him to send over what they're proposing to vote on, so that we can have a chance to talk about it ahead of time. And yeah, if you could put that on the agenda for
Sure,
May,
no problem.
May 4th is the next meeting?
Yeah.
On the, on Manley Street,
Yeah.
since you've been here, how many times have there been an upgrade?
So all of the money for the,
It
from
just
this,
sounds, just,
yeah,
did they do it 3 times, 1 time?
you mean the street? So there's
No, just rehabbing that,
Oh, the plant was built, I was hired, so 2004.
30 years ago.
Okay.
This is the first upgrade to that plant.
okay, so almost 22 years ago.
Right.
So 22 years from now, are they rehabbing that place?
They, probably again, yes.
Yeah.
The
So,
green sand.
the
well, you
money
gotta-
don't stop.
No, it never stops.
So if you think you're gonna pay off your system in 10 years and be a cash cow,
No,
No, that's not
22
gonna
years
happen.
from
No,
now,
but-
that could be
But yes,
obsolete.
but they still bring in rates to cover things.
I-
and
I-
they just-
I get
and
it,
they
but
can
it's-
increase the rates. Like I said, it's not, what I've seen of it didn't work out well for the water departments.
No, I'm just saying, you know, you buy a car, something not gonna last forever. You know, you gotta upgrade
I
and keep
tried
doing.
like hell.
If we-
The
all
line's
try-
falling
we-
we
apart.
got 70 miles of water main out here.
Huh?
We've got 70 miles of water main,
We
that's
got a
almost
shitload of
100 years
water
old,
main,
so I mean,
yeah.
that's work that's gonna have to be done in the future, so it's not like,
No, that's
once
the
we get
last
through this debt.
250 years.
Okay, all right.
So those wooden pipes, they
Did
last
Paul Revere
forever,
put that together?
pretty much.
Since the 70s, all the money has gone into treatment. There's not a dime gone into distribution system.
Just repairs.
Right. We just maintaining old pipe, which is, it's reaching its end of life.
Well, when we have that, what was that assessment? Didn't we have to do like an inventory of all?
Yeah.
So we actually have an inventory now,
Right.
what's oldest, could be a way to go. But you start looking at replacing pipe in the street like that,
God.
you're talking megawatts.
Well, you still have people, there are like 5 streets in town that are they're still fed by 2-inch steel main.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
I
thought
don't
you-
have people to jump
That's
them out.
lead, right?
That's the lead
Lead you have to
services.
replace.
With the steel, you just replace when it all disappears, because it rots away.
That's why they call him Leadhead over there.
You're on TV. You just slandered me. You'll be hearing from me.
All right, anybody have anything else they wanna bring up tonight, starting with Wayne?
No, I don't have anything.
Sean?
No.
Keep the camera on.
Mark?
I'm straight up, it caused enough problems.
No, you didn't cause any problems, actually, you brought up things that need to be talked about. That's not causing a problem. Kerry, anything you'd like to bring up?
No, sir.
How about the flowers?
How about the next,
They're beautiful.
how
You
about
like
the next
flowers?
meeting? Next meeting
We
is,
already said, next
Monday,
meeting's
May
May 4th.
all right.
Wait, did you cut those off the house up the corner? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved at 6:12.
12.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.